Ladies and gentlemen, this is your EIDL grant update for September 9th, 2020. In this video, I'm going to tell you how federal prosecutors are ramping up their investigation, probing fraudulent applications for hundreds of millions of dollars in Paycheck Protection Program loans, economic injury disaster loans, while you, legitimate small business owners, are not receiving the funds that you need to save your families, feed your families, save your businesses, keep your employees on payroll. Criminals were out spending your hard-earned taxpayer money on trips to Vegas to go gambling, risky Wall Street bets, and stuffing your taxpayer dollars into the underwear of strippers, ladies and gentlemen. Federal prosecutors have announced opening over 40 cases looking into fraudulent applications for $170 million in Paycheck Protection Program loans and economic injury disaster loans. As you know, as per previous videos, and a new announcement, the Small Business Administration Office of Inspector General has announced initiating hundreds of cases involving potential fraud. Most of the cases are focused on use of Paycheck Protection Program funds. As you know, the Paycheck Protection Program was never capped like the economic injury disaster loan at $150,000 and $1,000 per employee. Applicants of the Paycheck Protection Program loan were able to obtain up to $10 million, ladies and gentlemen. That said, Democrats found that they raised several red flags when comparing the data in applications for Paycheck Protection Program loans and $3 billion of Paycheck Protection Program loans when comparing that data with a federal business registration database. GOP lawmakers responded by stating that those $3 billion only represented a fraction of the $525 billion that the federal government dispersed to 5.2 million applicants through the Paycheck Protection Program. The Trump administration has announced that the Paycheck Protection Program has saved millions of jobs. Nonetheless, as you know, the Treasury Department is overseeing this program, and it is announced that it has enhanced its technology to perform automated reviews of applications for Paycheck Protection Program loans, and they will perform a manual review of Paycheck Protection Program loans of over $2 million, ladies and gentlemen. That said, among the items that federal officials have seized that people bought with fraudulent Paycheck Protection Program funds include several Rolexes, one diamond-encrusted Rolex, a fleet of luxury vehicles, including several Lamborghinis, a row house out in Washington, a home in the Mojave Desert in Henderson, Nevada, and a $3,750 pinky ring, ladies and gentlemen. Understand? So the reason that I'm telling you this is because you're seeing there was a 9-person scheme between Florida and Ohio where criminals obtained Paycheck Protection Program funds through fraudulent applications, $24 million to be exact. Another was a 40-year-old out of Los Angeles, Andrew Marnell. He obtained $8.5 million in several Paycheck Protection Program loans. He blew $525 billion making risky bets on Wall Street. 525,000 erased. He lost it in betting on futures markets, and he forwarded $350,000 in Paycheck Protection Program funds to the Bellagio Hotel in Vegas to go out gambling, ladies and gentlemen. Another case where individuals were spending thousands of dollars in strip clubs, ladies and gentlemen, while you, the American people, small business owners, who were entitled to this money, so you can continue to provide the legitimate service to the American people, so you can save your families, feed your families, save your businesses. You're out in the cold. You saw how the Small Business Administration Office of Inspector General announced a couple of months ago, as per one of my videos, that it had found that the Small Business Administration dispersed thousands of economic injury disaster loans and advances worth hundreds of millions of dollars, while you, who constitute 31.7 million small businesses who offer legitimate services to the American people, employing half of the U.S. workforce, 60.6 million U.S. workers to be exact. You're out in the cold because the Small Business Administration Office of Inspector General, they had to institute all these new programs to raise all kinds of red flags, more fraud detecting indicators to determine, okay, this is fraud. So as a result, they've also called on financial institutions to enhance their programs and to make it a lot stricter for people to receive funds. So you're seeing that banks that hold accounts for applicants of the economic injury disaster loan are freezing funds. They're rejecting funds. Some people had the Small Business Administration disperse funds through the economic injury disaster loan grant for the grant to a bank. The bank rejected it. Then the Small Business Administration had to announce the conclusion once it spent the $20 billion that lawmakers appropriated towards the program. And now the program is over. There are no more funds for it. And people are just ate out, ladies and gentlemen. They are not going to receive those grants because once banks reject the economic injury disaster loan grant, then they went ahead and dispersed it to the next applicant of the economic injury disaster loan, ladies and gentlemen. Same thing's been happening with the economic injury disaster loan, not the grant. The other one, I was talking about the grant, but with the loan itself, banks have rejected it. People have not been able to use their online applications such as Chime, NetSpend. Those banks, for the most part, they reject the disbursement of the economic injury disaster loan. Then people have to, as I said on my last video, people have to send their federal taxes, IRS Form 4506, potentially SBA Form 2202, list all their liabilities, their business expenses, and then wait 5 to 7 days to get a response from the SBA, and then anywhere from 4 to 8 weeks in order to receive the funds, ladies and gentlemen. While you're out there, the bill collectors don't stop. You still have to pay for your utilities. You still have to pay for your rent. You have to keep your businesses afloat, and you have to keep your families fed, ladies and gentlemen. I read the stories every day. A number of critics have stated that because the federal government rushed all this money out, that's why we're seeing all this criminal activity. That's why we're seeing all these criminals getting to spend millions of dollars in taxpayer money. Therefore, they shouldn't continue opening these programs, where this is the reason why the federal government has to institute more laws to ensure that the Small Business Administration disperses the full $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant to all legitimate small business applicants through S.4227 or any other funding that they want to appropriate. But they have to do it, ladies and gentlemen, because if we are the 31.7 million small businesses that did not receive this funding, then it wasn't our fault that the federal government dropped the ball, and through their oversight, through their lack of oversight rather, they were not able to detect all these fraudulent applications for the Paycheck Protection Program and the economic injury disaster loan. So they have to do it. Therefore, go ahead and contact sbc.senate.gov. That's the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship, and let them know. Go ahead and cite all the stats here, how the federal government dropped the ball. They dispersed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of fraudulent Paycheck Protection Program and economic injury disaster loan. Therefore, they have to ensure that that lawmakers include S.4227, the full disbursement of the $10,000 economic injury disaster loan grant to all legitimate small business applicants, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Drop your comments in the comments section below. Watch this video right here for more economic injury disaster loan and stimulus coverage. Click the like button if you like the video. Click the subscribe button to stay on top of my findings. We mobilize like no one else will. We've already contacted SBC once, and they opened the line of communication with us. They have to hear us, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless each and every one of you. May God bless the United States of America and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.